Hello, I have had a bit of a time on the little loom and I will talk to you about that in a second, but first I'm going to talk about what has worked and what has come off the little loom. This has had its wet finish, it hasn't been pressed obviously, and the texture is a little bit less pronounced than it was before it was washed, and the reason for that is very simple. These are skipped dents, so these are places where I didn't put any threads in the holes or the slots just to leave a gap to get some texture from this lovely nubbly textured yarn. And in the wet finish, because there's nothing to hold those side threads in place, they've just shifted in towards each other slightly. So there is still texture, you can still see there's those lines of texture down it, it's just not as pronounced as it was. I am pleased to report that it is much, much softer. This is pure wool. The warp thread, which is Bendigo Woolen Mills, was always a little bit soft, but this weft thread, which was Big Wool from Lincraft, which I think is discontinued, was a little bit coarse because it's not finely spun, it's barely spun at all in places, and it was a little bit rough to handle. But now that it's had a good soak in wool wash, it's lovely and soft. There's the drape, and that just needs pressing and it's good to go. Everything needs pressing. My whole life needs pressing. This shirt needs pressing, but you know, what are you going to do? Press it? I don't think so. Now, this was on the loom last week. This came out a little bit shorter than it could have been. I'll show you the length. There's not a huge amount of difference. This has not been wet finished. I haven't twisted the fringes or anything like that. I will get to it. Now the thing about this one is it's a little bit shorter than it possibly could have been, because when I cut it off the loom I had maybe that much warp left, and I could have filled that in a little bit and still had a good amount for the fringe. This was very boring. So when it got to the point where I had to reload the shuttle one last time to do that last bit, I just thought it's not worth it. I'm not going to. I don't know why this is boring. I love a plain weave. I enjoy doing plain weave, and this is a plain weave. The colours are lovely. Everything's nice. It was just dull. It was a bit of a slog to get through. I had to watch quite a lot of, what was I watching? 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown, I think. Quite a lot of that. A little bit of the Big Fat Quiz, just to get through. It's come out nice. It's come out nice. I don't know what it's going to look like after the wet finish. Probably not that much different, because I don't think there's going to be that much bloom or shrinkage. The colour shift maybe was a little bit too slow to keep me interested. I don't know. Anyway, it's off the loom. It's ready to wet finish, and I will show you that next time because it will be wet finished. Now the little loom. Let's talk about the little loom. The loom itself has been behaving itself beautifully. So I took this one off, and then in the spirit of stash busting, I grabbed some yarns that I thought would work together. I grabbed a baby pink. I grabbed one that is a fluffy dark pink with white lumps. That sounds so good. It's a novelty yarn that I got cheap somewhere, Spotlight I think. And I thought they're going to work together. I threw in some white into the warp because I didn't have enough of the pink to do the whole warp, and then I was going to do the novelty yarn. Warped it all up, started weaving, and looked at it and thought, this looks like shit. I haven't even taken a photograph of it. I was going to, and I ended up, well, I thought about it for a long time, and I went through the stash. So I unwove the novelty yarn, and I went through the stash to find something that would work with pink and white. And I couldn't find anything. And I went to the local yarn shop and said, I need something with pink in it. We found something with pink in it, the same shade of pink as the cotton that I was using for the warp. That didn't work either. So in the end, after much consideration, I cut the whole lot off and warped up with yellow. So I'm going to show you what's happening here, because this is also not what I was planning to do. I'm trying to do, I've got a pickup stick and I forgot to secure it. There we go. So this is what is on, there we go. That's okay, that's the shuttle. That's what's currently on the little loom, and there is a plan for this. So in the spirit again of stash busting, I'm just going to get my shuttle. It's just down here, I won't be a sec. Here we go. Not quite enough hands for this. So in the spirit of stash busting, I grabbed this yellow, which is Bendigo Woolen Mills Classic 8-ply in Sunburst. Beautiful, nice, bright, pure yellow. And I was going to do Danish medallions. Now, Danish medallions, it's quite a simple technique. You take your shuttle in through under maybe 5 threads. You bring it up to the front. You take a crochet hook, you go in underneath, you grab the thread, you bring it round. So you've made a loop from the back to the front, and then you put your shuttle through, and then you lift up the shuttle, you go through another maybe 5 threads, right? Very simple technique. The last time I did it, I hated it so much that I cut it off the loom after I think I'd woven maybe 30 centimetres, and I thought, I'm over this. And I thought to myself, well, maybe that was the yarn and maybe it will be okay this day. It's not okay. I appreciate the form, I appreciate the structure, and I appreciate how it looks. It looks beautiful. I hate doing it. So I wove a couple of rows of Danish medallions and just thought, I can't. Even if it was just going to be the decorative ends, I hate it. I hate it. I know people love it. We're all different. It's fine. So instead, what we have here, because this is the yarn I was doing those medallions in, the Danish medallions give you a sort of circle or oval effect. So these are not part of the warp as such. If I pulled all of these out, the warp would not be, sorry, the weft. These are not part of the weft. Pretend I didn't say warp. These are not part of the weft. These are not part of the weave structure at all. If I pulled all these out, everything would be fine. So what I'm going to do, this is a supplemental weft, so it's not holding anything together. And when I've finished weaving this, I'm trying to hold this up now in a way that doesn't hurt my arm, but also doesn't drop my pickup stick, and I might not be able to manage it. Anyway, so you can see here at the ends, these are just loose, and then I've got these floats in the middle. So the plan is, once this comes off the loom, I'm going to trim these loose ends to about the same length, doesn't have to be exact, and then I'm going to cut all of these floats, and then in the wet finish, that's going to make little fluffs. That's a technical term. So that's going to be a nice texture on that side. On the other side, there's going to be, oh, here we go. I may have overcommitted here. There we go. Oh, you can't even see. There we go. You can see there's a little bit of colour texture on the other side. So both sides are visually interesting. So I hope that's going to work. This yarn, this supplemental, I'm looking at it but not showing you. This is from Hobbii. It's an acrylic. And it is definitely called something, and I can't remember what it's called. I'll have a look online and see if I can find it and put it in the description. If not, then it is a mystery Hobbii yarn. So that's what's on the little loom. Hopefully that will be off the little loom for next week. I make no major promises. I've got a bit on. So while I'm down here, I will get the cross stitch, because I have been working on the cross stitch. And the last time I showed you the cross stitch, it looked like this. I'll just give you a minute to really soak in what that looked like last week. Just take it in, the colours, the shapes. I keep saying that I love the colours and the shapes. And here's what it's looking like now. So I've reached all four corners on that, and I realised last night that I hadn't done any of the white. So I've started with the pale blue up here in the toucan cheek. This is all white, the beak highlights are white, all down here through the body is white. And I thought I should get onto that, because otherwise I'll be leaving that till last, and then I will be grumpy that I've only got white to do. Because white, you know, white's lovely, but I like the colours and the shapes. So that is coming along. That won't be finished for next week. Absolutely won't be. But it is getting there. It's getting there. And it's getting there a lot quicker than I thought it would, actually. So well done me. But that is all I have for you for this week. You take care of yourself. Have a lovely rest of your week. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.